Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix channel. My name's FPL Phillips or Eddie, and this is the series where every single week I take on the Algorithm 11. We reveal the Algorithm 11 team for that game week, and then I try my best to take it on with a dream team of my own for that specific game week and see if I can beat the Algorithm's total. And now, at this point in the series, before last week, we'd actually come back from a 2-0 deficit, so the Algorithm took game weeks 1 and 2, and then after that, I took the next 3 game weeks, making it 3-2, which I was rather impressed by, to be honest. I was a bit surprised in myself, to be honest. Don't tell anyone I said that, despite everyone watching who now knows. But yeah, let's have a quick recap of what actually happened last week, and I'll bring in my team right now. In goal, we had Begovic, who did have to get replaced by our substitute keeper. I knew that was a risk, but I did want to take the risk with 2 4.0 goalkeepers potentially playing. Foster on the bench got 3 points, so still not a terrible total, but I wish I'd kind of gone for Jose Sarr now, although I wasn't really considering too much, as I did have Semedo in the back line. Semedo did score 6 points, so not too bad, but nowhere near Sarr after grabbing that assist for the Jimenez goal. And I also wasted quite a bit of value on Trent Alexander-Arnold this week, who I thought could deliver a big haul. With 3 goals for Liverpool, you'd hope that one of the fullbacks, or Trent in particular, would be involved in that, but Robertson did actually grab something, I believe, so maybe he would have been the better one to go for, but I was never going to do that. Then Livramento, Duffy and Manquillo, some very budget defenders, didn't manage to return anything this week. The value at the back seemed to be a bit of a fool on the eye. But moving into midfield, we've got Salah, Gray, Benrahma and Sarr, so the midfield actually did pretty well this week. I do wish I'd probably captained Salah, but yeah, Ismail Sarr with a 9-pointer again, so it's a very nice return from him once more. Gray done very well, and Benrahma, I was hoping for a little bit more with the double up on West Ham, but yeah, not the end of the world. The midfield did come through, kind of unlike the attack, to be honest. Ronaldo, who was of course the captain, providing only a 2-pointer against Aston Villa, but still not the end of the world, as the Algorithm did go for a United triple up with Greenwood and Bruno. Bruno, obviously, if he'd scored that penalty, could have made a significant difference to the Algorithm. Antonio with 8 points rounded our total up to 51, and so we got 51 points. The Algorithm got 51 points as well. So it actually means we're going to add on a 1 to each of our scores. 4-3 to me so far after game week 6. And so let's see who we're going to be going with, and more particular, who the Algorithm is going to be going with next for game week 7. Here it is then, the Algorithm 11 for game week 7. Apologies if I sound and look really rough, that's because I am. I'm at uni if anyone didn't know, and yeah, not that you care, but I've basically got a big case of freshers flu. Nothing you know what related. I've done the test, so yeah, not putting anyone at risk. I've been double jabbed as well for clarification. Anyways, moving into what you actually want to hear about, the actual Algorithm 11 for this week. In goal, it's gone for Jose Sarr, so a very interesting one. I mean, coming off the back of a 14-pointer, he's obviously going to be way up in the statistics in terms of keepers. Newcastle at home isn't as easy a fixture as you'd think, I suppose, but with teams like Liverpool and Man City, you know, they're going out and they're playing each other this week. It is hard to look and actually fancy some of the premium defences, and we'll look to have one of the best reasonable fixtures and a pretty solid defence so far this season, so I'm not surprised that the Algorithm has gone with Sarr. In defence, Semedo makes up a Wolves double up at the back, with Cresswell coming in, who's an interesting one, I feel, and then no surprises, I was kind of expecting to see that, a double Chelsea defence at the back, with Alonso, who, bear in mind, it did get subbed off at half-time for Chilwell in the Champions League yesterday, so a very interesting pick there. I don't know whether that means Chilwell's going to come back and play some minutes in the Premier League. Does Alonso still start this weekend? I probably think he will, but it's still, to note, a tiny bit of a risk, but Alonso probably is, if any defender is worth that risk. He could always score you, we know, over 20 points in previous seasons. Rudiger as well, very safe option there to go for in the Chelsea backline, perhaps to balance out that risk a little bit. Into midfield, and it's going to be a 4-3-3 this week. Bruno Fernandes still retains his place despite that penalty miss against Aston Villa. I'm still not over it yet. Bowen in against Brentford, so a double up on West Ham. I'm assuming Antonio will be up front too. And then Ismail Sarr, who seems impossible to give up on at the moment, especially with all Leeds' defensive troubles. It seems like a no-brainer, really, to pick up Ismail Sarr at this point in your team, especially if you are going for just a 1-week punt. After that, his fixtures do look a bit more shaky. However, I still think he's a good pick. And if you're looking to rotate some midfielders, I did put a tweet out earlier, which did show off how the fixture analyzer tool over at fantasyfootballfix.com can help you with that. You can find that via the links in the description. You can essentially pick 3 midfielders, and if you're going for a strong back 4 as well, just play 2 of those midfielders every week, and you can find out which teams have the best rotation. For example, Arsenal, Watford and Leeds seem to have some pretty decent ones between them. If you want to go for like a Smith Rowe, Sarr and Rafinha, that could be the way to do it. But yeah, you can find that, as I mentioned, via links in the description. And then finally, we're moving on to the forwards, and it's going to be the three big ones, the big guys. Ronaldo, Lukaku, and then Antonio coming in as well. Antonio should really, by now, be his price tag should almost be up by there with the others. Maybe by the end of the season, it'll be a bit nearer. But yeah, Antonio against Brentford seems too hard to pass up on. We've got Ronaldo and Fernandes in a double up against Everton at home for United. And then Lukaku, who seems a no-brainer and was obviously going to be the third Chelsea player after that double up in defence. Let's have a look at who the captain's going to be for the algorithm this week. It's going to be Romelu Lukaku. So yeah, not really a surprise there at all. Southampton haven't looked the worst, but they haven't looked the best in defence, and a home fixture like that seems very, very good and almost too much to pass up on. I reckon most people who don't have Lukaku, they will be captaining Ronaldo this week, and if you do own Lukaku, it seems an absolute no-brainer. A lot of people are considering making that transfer from Ronaldo to Lukaku. I'm not so sure about that. There was a lot more talk about it before Ronaldo's last-minute goal in Champions League yesterday. But yeah, if you're on a wild card, going with Lukaku, or even Lukaku and Ronaldo, I think seems the sensible way to go. Even on paper, this team doesn't look too bad as an actual wildcard draft. You'd obviously have to make a few swaps. I'd swap out Fernandes for Salah, obviously. I probably wouldn't go with Bowen either. And obviously, there's a bit of a lack of cover on the bench. Maybe going for someone like a Ramsdale instead of Sarr would make this team a bit stronger. But it still looks like a very, very decent squad. And with the Chelsea triple up, it obviously makes it looking very nice. I'd want one City defender in there at least, perhaps in place of Cresswell. You could go with someone like a Laporte if you don't have the cash. But yeah, enough about that team. Let's see what I can put together. I've procrastinated enough. I need to actually maybe make some changes to this team that I can try and beat it and beat the algorithm and maintain our 1-point victory. So here is my team for Game Week 7, and I'm not ashamed to say I've taken a couple of risks with it. We've kept quite a lot of the team the same, the formations staying the same as well. However, there's been quite a few changes in personnel on the bench. Foster comes in for Begovic, I just think he's got much more chance of starting. Brownhill stays in the same. Sissoko in for Hayden, not really anything to say there. And then Williams in for Manquillo, I just think are better options. But we've made a few personal changes in the starting 11 as well. I brought in Lowton for a 1-week punt, and this is pretty much target Norwich. Also saves me $1 million to spend elsewhere in the team, which has also gone towards the Bruno upgrade towards Mohamed Salah. And this is really, I just think Man United look rubbish. I'm not sure whether Everton are going to be able to give them as good a run as Villa did at the weekend, but they did look pretty rubbish. I don't know whether that victory in midweek will actually help them and aid them. I'm hoping that as a United fan, it'll be able to bounce us, and hopefully, Ronaldo and Bruno will do something from my point as a fan's perspective, but I'm not that hopeful of it. And even with Man City as a fixture, I do think Salah is a better option than Bruno. On that way, on paper, you wouldn't think it, but that is my overall assessment and judgment. It could backfire massively. And when I ask you to tell me, who team do you think is coming out on top this week, I'm expecting quite a lot of people to be saying that the algorithm is going to wipe the floor with me. I've also taken a bit of a risk and gone with Rafinha, who is got a bit of a knock. So I really want Rafinha. The problem is, do I think he's going to 100% start? I'm just hoping so. I'm obviously filming this not towards the end of the week when we've got all the available news, but even so, I'm not too concerned. If I have to have Brownhill off the bench, I was considering going with someone a bit more strong. I do have a little bit of cash left in the bank, but I didn't really think having someone like a Smith Rowe and finding the money to stretch for that would make all the difference with Arsenal playing Brighton. It has been a very difficult week, with the big teams playing each other, with teams like Arsenal having some tougher fixtures in Brighton, and obviously vice versa, going for Brighton players. So, when Burnley are playing Norwich, there's never going to be any standout teams to go for apart from Chelsea this week. And the Chelsea free for me has stayed the exact same. I do think Alonso is too much of a high ceiling to miss out on. And then instead in the attack, we haven't gone for any West Ham players, and really I don't know whether it's the algorithm that's underestimating Brentford. I do think they look very good. Obviously conceded 3 goals to Liverpool, most people would do that, but other than that, their defence has seemed pretty decent so far this season. I've gone for Jimenez, who I think that now he's back on form. His underlying stats for the start of the season aren't very good at all. But I think he's a player that thrives on form, and we know from previous experience and previous seasons that's the kind of player he is. Once he gets in form, it's very hard to stop, and he'll score you probably at least 1 goal in most games. games where he's on that kind of form. And then I've gone for Jamie Vardy instead of Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Crystal Palace, I think, I've looked pretty impressive to be fair, but Jamie Vardy is just, whenever Leicester score, he's involved, and I'm hoping that Leicester can find their footing a bit more. The reason I didn't have Vardy in my team or in any of the algorithm teams for the start of the season, really, or I had him in a few which actually paid off, but it's really to do with, are Leicester any good? If Leicester are good, Vardy's good. It's almost a kind of, if this then that. It always is the case. And so Jamie Vardy has made it into the team for this week. And that is going to round off the video and all the changes. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. I'm pretty sure that most people will be saying the algorithm is going to take the victory this week, but I'm willing to live by the sword and die by the sword. We still have our 1-point lead, and hopefully we can go back and take the lead again if we do in fact lose this game. Yes, you can tell I'm being very, very optimistic, but yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're new around here, do subscribe to the channel down below. It really helps us out. If you've got any questions at all FPL related to our FPL presenters, then for sure go and drop it down below in the comments. You can like the video as well to support the channel and my videos in particular. It really does help out. And if you want to see a bit more from me, you can go ahead and check the FPL Phillips channel out down below in the description. My team reveal will be coming very, very shortly, I hope, unless I'm obviously feeling a bit naff still. So yeah, I managed to get this video out. I hope you do appreciate it. You can also turn the notification bell on if you want to be updated for all the latest videos, and especially our price changes series, which will be coming to you later today. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching once more. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.